Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Devs Talk. Learners, we have started a Python developer training course. And this video is just a recording of one of the session of this particular course. If you also want to be trained as a Python developer, just let me know in the comment. I will add you to the group. Okay, so without any delay, let's get started with the session. So let's get started. सबसे पहले what exactly a set is and how it is different from other data types like so far which we have seen like tuple and list, right? So we have seen like what exactly a string, an integer or a list or a tuple is. Okay, now we are going to study about a set in Python. So as I already have told you and we already have seen, like a list is a data type, or you can say an abstract data type or a data structure, which basically you can say as a container. It's a container which stores elements of different data type and it is mutable. It means it can be appended or extended, and we can remove and replace the elements in list. And when we study about tuple is also a container like list. It can store different data types, but it is immutable. Okay, it can't be appended or extended, and we can't change once it is defined. Now coming to set. So why we are having set in Python and how is it different from other data types? So if you come to know about set is basically a collection of items. Set is nothing but a collection of item, and how it is collected in and how it is stored. It is an unordered collection. In list we have ordered collection, na? As I said, we have indices, we have a proper sequence, that's why we use indices there. But in set we have this collection as an unordered collection. It is not in an order always, so it's unordered. That's why we don't use indices or index in set. Okay, it's not possible to fetch element from a set using index, because we don't use index as it is an unordered collection of items. So, and what is the convention to store elements in a set? Suppose there is an identifier s and I want to store elements in set, but to initialize or to initiate a set, so basically the convention is we enclose the elements, the items inside a curly braces. This is the convention for set, but we also do this same thing for dictionary as well. We store the elements in curly braces for dictionary. So how to differentiate between set and dictionary? So if you are initializing or starting some things with curly braces, empty curly braces, that will not start or initiate a set, it will start a dictionary. So make sure you know this. So that's what. So to make an empty set, you should not use these curly braces, because it will make an empty dictionary, not a set. To make an empty set, you should use a function, set function, like this. So once you call a set function without any element, it will initialize or start a set in that identifier. And if you use curly braces only, it will not make a set, it will make a dictionary. So we will study about this dictionary later on in the later session. So we have initialized a set. Now we want to store elements in set. Okay, so suppose you want to initialize a set with some elements. What you will do is you will add elements inside an iterator. You will pass an iterable. You pass an iterable, which is basically a list. So suppose I am passing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again I am passing 2, just to show you what exactly is the significance on use of sets. So now we have initialized the set with the values. Okay, we have initialized the set with values. If I print s, okay, See, so we got a set here. As I said, the convention is we enclose elements inside curly braces. Now if you see, the element I have passed in list are 1 2 3 4 2. We passed 2 twice, but in set we are having only once. So that's what the significance and the use of set is. We use set to store unique element. Unique element means there will not be a duplicate of an element inside a list. So whenever you get a question in interview to make a list of numbers without removing the duplicates, so you have duplicates in list and interviewers tell you to remove the duplicate, the best way to do is just make that list as set by this line, this statement. You pass that complete list inside set function and store it in an identifier. So you will get the set of all the unique elements and the duplicates will be removed. Okay, clear hai? Is it clear? Okay, any doubt, anyone, what exactly a set is, how we store elements in set and why we use set? Any doubt in these? Yeah, so how we store is, initially what we do, we make a set, an empty set. If you want to make an empty set, you need to call set function like this. But if you want to pass elements, you have to pass the iterable of containing the elements like this. So inside, if you see here, inside this inside set function, I have passed this list of elements. That's how you initially store the elements in a set. Okay, then you get this set. Okay, and other way is you can just make like this curly braces, but if you make an empty curly braces, it will not make a set, it will make a dictionary. Now if you pass element like this, it will make a set. Okay, sorry, comma, it will make a set like this. So there are two ways to initialize a set, not an empty set, with elements, a set with elements. But for empty set, you have to use set function only. Okay, so how you make a set? You store elements inside curly braces. That's how you make a set. And why we use set? We use set to store unique elements. As I said, a set discards the duplicate values or elements. So to store unique elements, we use set. Okay, fine. And so now, as you have seen, tuple is immutable, list is mutable, and likewise set is also mutable. Set is also mutable. It means we can add elements in set. Once we define a set, we can add elements in that set. Okay, so it is mutable, but the thing which need to take care of here is the element which we are storing in the set must be immutable. We can't store a list in a set, we can't store a dictionary in a set. Okay, and we can't store a set in a set. Okay, make sure you know this. So a set cannot store or contain a mutable element like list, set and dictionary. So it will be having a string or a value, any integer or float number, or it can have a tuple, because tuple is not mutable. So we can make a list of integers, string, and also a set itself like this. Okay, so this is now a set. Now if I print this, it will get printed. See, okay, see, we initialized it in an order in such a way that we stored first 1 and then 2, but if you see, the order get changed. High comes first, then 1 2 and all these. So that's why we told that a set is an unordered collection of elements. So if someone asks you why we don't use index in set, just only tell them that set is actually an unordered collection. The order is not always same. So that's why we don't use index. So once we define elements, this set in a particular order, the order of that element as we defined will change as it is changed here. Okay, it is not always same.
What we store two times set.
Sorry,
Set. What happen we store two times sets itself.
are you asking for set in set, set inside a set?
Yes.
As I already told na, that set cannot store a mutable element. Set is also mutable. Okay, so list, set, dictionary, these can't be stored inside a set. A set, so simply a set cannot be stored inside a set. Got it? A list cannot be stored inside a set. A set cannot be stored inside a set. A dictionary cannot be stored inside a set. Only mutable, unmutable elements like a string and tuple and other data types like integers can be stored. Mutable elements like list, dictionary and set cannot be stored inside a set. Got it? Clear hai?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is all about the definition of set and what we can store and what we cannot. Now, so and as I already have told you how to initialize or make a empty set. So to make an empty set, make sure you don't use empty curly braces. It will make a dictionary, not a set. To make an empty set, you should use set function, as I told. Now coming to modifying a set, how we can modify a set. Set are mutable, it means we can add, right? And since it is unordered, we can't use index here. Okay, so now we cannot change, we cannot access or change an element set using index. It is clear, right? Because we are not using index as it is unordered collection. Now to add a element, so suppose we have a list S, sorry, not list, a set S. Okay, I am removing this set S, and inside that set, which we have already defined here, this one, we are trying to add one other element. Okay, we are trying to add one more element. Now to add element, what we do, we call a function called add with that set. So we are calling that set S, and then we are calling a function add, S dot add, and now we'll pass that element. Let's say if I want to add element 7, and now if I print just below here, sorry, so we are just adding, right? We don't need to store it in an identifier. So we are just calling S and adding it. So it will not be, it will add the element in that defined set itself. See, so earlier it was like this. Now since we have added 7, see, 7 is added now. Okay, so this is how we add an element inside a set. We call add function of that set. Okay, so the add function is there to add element, but this add function can add only one element. To add more than one element, what we do, we call update function. So there is an update function in set. So S dot update, and now since, as I already told, to pass more than one element we use iterable. So there is a list called which we have already seen, which is an iterable. So if I pass 6, 9, 8 in list inside update function, the S will be these elements will be added in S. See, 6, 7, 8, 9 all are added. Okay, so this is how we can add more than one value at a time using update function. If you want to add one value, you use add function. If you want to add more than one value, you use update function. Okay, so this is how we add elements. Now To remove elements, what we use? We use two functions. One is remove function itself. Now if we remove some value, let's say if I am removing 6, and now I am printing S. See what we got here. If you see, 6 got removed. Earlier we were having 6 in the set, but now 6 got removed. So this is how we can remove a value from set. But the issue here with remove function is, if 6 is not in the set, if suppose we passed only 9 and 8, okay, see, it will throw an error which will say key error 6, because if we are passing a value in remove function which is not in a set, we are trying to remove a value from a set which is not there, then remove function will give us an error. So then comes another function which is called degrade, okay, not degrade, sorry, discard, okay, discard function. So in discard function we can similarly pass the value 6, but this discard function will not give an error if the value is not there in set. Let's see, we had this, we didn't have 6 inside this set, and we were trying to remove 6, but this discard function, since it was not there, the 6 was not there in the set, it didn't give us error, but remove function gives us error. So this is the difference between remove and discard function. Both can be used to remove value from the set, and to avoid error we use discard function. Okay, clear hai? Any doubt in remove and discard?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is how we do. Okay, and like we have pop function in list, we can use pop function here also in set, but since we are not having index here, so we don't use index in pop function here in set. It randomly removes any of the values, so I think we will not be using pop for set. So but you can use pop just to remove any random value. Okay, let's come to the next function, which is clear. What exactly this clear function do is remove all the item from a set. So now if I do s dot clear, okay, it will remove all the elements. See, we got an empty set, and how I said empty set can be shown with this set function itself. So we got an empty set here. Is it clear? So what exactly this clear function do? It removes all the element of a set. Okay, fine. So this is all about making a set, making an empty set, and then storing elements in a set, and then updating, adding a single value and then adding multiple value. We use add and update function. Then to remove we use remove function, discard function, and to remove all the values we use clear function. So this is the basics of set. Now we come to the set operation, mathematical operation, which we do with set in mathematics as well, right? So we can perform here as well. So suppose now I am just commenting out these lines and coming down. Suppose we have a set S1 with elements 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we have S2 set having element 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. So if there is two set and we want to do mathematical operation between these two sets, you all know na mathematics of sets, union, intersection, difference and symmetric difference, you know or you don't know? Tell me.
Symmetric difference नहीं जानते sir.
Okay, no problem, I will tell you.
Yes. I know.
So coming to union, okay, union is basically an OR operation. Okay, so when we do a set union, it means union of set A and B is a set of all elements of both the set. Okay, now if we do, if we print, so printing what? Union of S1 and S2. So S1, then the sign for union is the symbol of OR, and in Python symbol of OR is just a single bar. Okay, this single bar is a symbol of OR. So what we will do for union S1 or S2. Okay, this is we are doing union. Okay, now if I print, see what we got? We got 1 2 3 4. From one set is 1 2 3 4, another set is 3 4 5 6. But since 3 4 is already in S1 and in both S1 and S2, so we got 1 2 3 4 5 6. Is it clear? So in if you see this set, we are having all the elements of set 1 and set 2. Is it clear?
Yes sir.
So union, basically union of two sets simply mean a set having all the values of set S1 and S2. If we have two sets S1 and S2, union of S1 and S2 means a third set S3 which will be having as all the elements of S1 and S2. This is what exactly the union mean. Now coming to intersection. Okay, what exactly intersection mean? So for union you can do both the things. You can use this and also you can do union function. So suppose you are doing S1 dot union and passing S2. So you are making a union of S1 with S2. Okay, now if I run, see that same answer is there. So both are the ways to make a union, to get a union of two sets. Okay, now coming to intersection. So intersection of two set S1 and S2 is a set of elements that are common in both the set. Common means this element, the values which are there in S1 also and as well as in S2 as also. Okay, so now if I print intersection of S1 and S2, so the symbol for intersection is AND in Python. Okay, S1 and S2. If I do, this is basically for intersection. And also we have another function called, another way to get the intersection, which is just calling S1 dot intersection function and then passing another set S2. Now if I print, we will get 3 and 4. See, in both the ways we get the intersection, means the elements which are there in both the set. So 1, if you go 1 and 2, it is there in S1 but not in S2. 3 and 4, it is there in S1 and as well as both in S2. But 5 and 6, it is there in S2 but not in S1. So 3 and 4 is the intersection of both the set. Clear hai what exactly the intersection is?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now coming to the difference, set difference. Set difference is basically, the difference. So difference of set B from set A means A minus B, which is basically a set of elements that are only in A but not in B. Difference of set B minus A means the elements in A which are not in B, simply. Okay. No, sorry, I just make it complex. So if I write, let me write it and make it simple. If you print for difference, what you do, S1 minus S2. This is how we find difference. Okay. Another way is calling the difference function, S1 dot difference and then S2. So let me tell you what exactly it means. So the difference of S1 minus S2 is basically elements in S1 which are not in S2. So now we can continue. So let me tell you what exactly this S1 minus S2 mean. Okay. So here in the difference, S1 minus S2 is basically the difference of set S2 from set S1, which gives us a set of elements that are only in S1 but not in S2. So S1 minus S2 will give us a set containing elements, only those elements which are in S1 not in S2. S1 minus S2 basically means all elements which are in S1 not in S2. That is what exactly the difference is. Okay. Now if I print,
it means that uncommon. Can I say it uncommon?
Yeah, but depends, where you are, which one you are keeping first, right? Because S1 minus S2 is all elements in S1 which are not in S2. If we do S2 minus S1, it will give all elements of S2 which are not in S1. See, we printed S1 minus S2. If you see, we got 1 and 2, which is basically the element in S1 which are not in S2. Similarly, if we print S2 minus S1, okay, we will get 5 and 6. Okay. Why? So S2 minus S1 means elements in S2 not in S1. S1 minus S2 means element in S1 which are not in S2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, what will happen is if both the sets are identical?
Okay, let's make identical sets. It will print empty set because there will not be any element which are in one and not in other, right? If we make it 1 2 3 4 and another one as well, 1 2 3 4. Now if I print, see, empty set we got. Why? Because there is no element which is in one set and not in other, right? Is it clear? Union, intersection and difference. Now coming to symmetric difference. Symmetric difference is, XOR symbol, XOR symbol that gives us symmetric difference in Python. So if we do symmetric difference of this is the symbol of symmetric difference, make sure you remember. Okay. So this is symmetric symmetric difference. Another way to do is calling the function S1 dot symmetric difference is there, right? S2. So what exactly it means is it will give the difference of both. See, the element which is not in S1, the element which are in S1 but not in S2, and also the element which are in S2 but not in S1. See, earlier we used to get 1 and 2 for S1 minus S2, S2 minus S1 we got 5, 6, but for symmetric difference of S1 and S2 we got both things in one set. So this is what we call symmetric difference. Symmetric difference basically means elements in S1 not in S2, also element in S2 not in S1. Is it clear?
Sir,
Hmm.
can we use this function for more than 2 sets?
More than 2 sets? No.
Yes, sir.
So basically there is an operation between two operators only, I mean two values only, right? So suppose if you are doing a sum, you are doing a sum of 1 and 2 ones only, then you do a sum of third one with the return, right? So same way this mathematical operation works. So how mathematical operation works? These are all mathematical operation only. Okay, so this in any operator in mathematics need two values to operate, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Now, like we have membership test in other iterable, we have in set as well, and for loop. So we'll see both the things here. So now if we want to check if 5 is there in the set or not, S1. So what we'll do, if 5 in S1, you remember this membership test, huh? So if it is there, print true, otherwise print false. Let's see, we got false because 5 is not in S1. If you see S1, see, this is what we have S1, right? No, this is not S1. I haven't printed S1 actually. This is S1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't have 5 in S1, but we have in S2. So for S1 it printed false. Now if we do S2, because we have 5 in S2, it will print true. See, we got true, correct? So to check whether an element or value is there in an iterable or not, we do a membership test like this. If the value in the iterable, and accordingly we print true or false. Clear? Now to get single value, each value once at a time, we iterate, and for iteration what we use for loop. Okay, as I already told in list and tuple also, right, and in string as well. For iteration we use for loop. So what we do, for each element in S1, we are getting one element at a time from S1 and printing it. For each element in S1, print that each element. This is how we iterate using for loop. See, we got 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 1 by 1. So this is the iteration, fetching value one at a time, for loop. Okay, iterating through a set. This is how we iterate through a set. Then we have many different built-in functions like all, any, and all. So you should go through that, the study material which I have sent you. Then comes a new concept of frozen set. What exactly a frozen set is? Frozen set is, so set is mutable, we can add and we can remove, but to make it immutable, like we have tuple immutable, we make set as frozen set. So frozen set is nothing but a set which is immutable, because set is mutable, right? To make it immutable, we use frozen set. Frozen set, which is nothing but an immutable set. Okay, so similarly we do we pass the values like we did 3, 4, 5 and 6, and let's store this Trojan set in a identifier called f. Now if I print, see, we got this Trojan set. So like same, to make an empty set we use set function, to make an empty frozen set we make use of frozen set function. Okay, so to differentiate between set and frozen set, if we print, so when we print it we got this set with this function as well, name as well, because if we get just this one it will be a set, right? It's a convention for set. So to differentiate this frozen set from set, how it get printed? With the name frozen set. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so this is all about set. Fine, I hope you understand all these concepts and you will do practice on this.